Mick and Shank here with you. We're going to talk Alabama football well into football practice now. We got a week and change under our belt, and we're going to talk a little bit of offensive line. We'll talk about the running back room and what it takes to get on the field and more. So make sure that you like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, and let's get this show started. It didn't cover the entire screen, but it will. And there you are, man. Look at you in the open. You got a lot of great moments in there. I love you and Coach Saban shaking hands.
That was a good one. Right after spring ball, you know. Because at the time, man, I had went through a couple surgeries, fought my way back at the starting spots, ran award that spring, uh, which is big time, you know. Ironman award just means you're a tough SOB.
Yeah.
It's simply put, like you should just show up. And so that's what it was all about, man. It's that next man up mentality, you know, and that's it's always part of the standard. You know, nobody cares, work harder, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
Well,
live by that.
yeah. Well, that's kind of where we are with this team right now. And the show's brought to you by Pearl River Resort, guys, over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Timeout Sports Lounge, it's a Vegas-style sports book, hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. And you can go there and do all your Vegas things, put some money down on Bama. People not, seventh best odds to win the national championship. That means there's 6 teams better than Alabama. So if you think that that's the way it is, and hey, and live with it. But if you think Bama's going to win it all, Shank, you think so? Go to Pearl River. But let's talk about this offensive line, because we got some interesting, I'll call them battles, right? I think that we've got left tackle solidified with Caden Proctor, right? Center
Right.
is Parker Brailsford. Nobody's questioning that. Feels like Wilkin Formby's the right tackle. So you start to look at it now and you're going, okay, well, what about Cam Dewberry or Jalen Roberts at right guard, or Cam Dewberry at left guard? Olis Alinen is also pushing for that spot. Gino Vandermark's trying to get in on that as well. So, I mean, there's a lot going on as we move through these camp days on what the offensive line is going to look like. And then the question I have, too, is, you kind of give me your evaluation of that. How much does the offensive line change during the course of a season?
Oh man, that's a good question, mate. And because realistically, offensive line play is sort of like quarterback play, right? Like you want to get that guy that's going to be your guy in there. And remember me telling you, offensive line, I think is the hardest position to coach and play, because you have to get 5 guys in unison doing the same thing at the same time to be successful. Um, and so if we're talking about our guys up front, man, obviously left tackle is secure. I think the right guard spot with Roberts is secure, man. I don't think anybody beats him out there. And the center spot, I think we're pretty good at. And so that leaves the left guard and the right tackle spot.
Yeah.
And I mean, which even last year, the right tackle spot was a little suspect. Like nobody was ever 100% with whoever we put right there. And so looking for some consistent and solid play there at the right tackle spot, man. And it just in that left guard spot as well. And you want to get guys in that's going to fit in and be consistent throughout the season. And realistically, man, you want to go ahead and get that knocked out within the first 2 to 3 games. In my opinion, just because you need time to gel together as an O-line, man, and build that chemistry. And I feel like every time you shuffle guys in and out of the rotation, it just kind of restarts that chemistry building process. Um, and so I would like to say 2 to 3 games in, we have our O-line rotation figured out, knowing who our 5 guys are, and so they can really build and get it going as a unit.
Yeah. Well, I think about this too, versatility, right? I love the fact that you got Cam Dewberry really fighting for 2 spots. I think of Wesley Britt. He was a guy who played everywhere on the offensive line, right? How hard is
Right.
that to do? I mean, because you mix in center, that's such a different skill set than, left tackle, left guard, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, a tackle's a tackle, a guard's a guard. You know, and honestly, guards have better chance of swinging that center spot than they do the tackle spot because typically we're put down at guard because we're a little too slow to be out there on the edge. Ask me how I know that, mate, because I was that
Yeah.
guy. I was absolutely too slow to be out on the edge, you know. And so you get moved down inside to that guard spot, man, and it's tough because that guard spot, you get to wrestle with those big 330 guys at D tackle. That's at that 3 tech, shade, head up point. It's tough, but I love it. I think guard is the best position, and you got to be versatile because, and the play is the play, right? And so if you can run it at right guard, you can run it at left guard. Just flip the play in your head. It's honestly that simple. And it typically, the way you remember plays, I know for us, when Lane was there, man, he was big on why we're running plays. We're doing this because of this, like cause and effect, right? And so you heard a play call, and it was never just, all right, this is the play. Let me remember my assignment. No, your mental process before that play is like, all right, we're gonna run this. What's the down and distance? What are we trying to get out of this? You know what I'm saying? And so that's a big thing. Um, you got to be versatile on that offensive line. Guards are guards, tackles are tackles, and you'll be moved around because at the end of the day, you really just want to find your way in one of those 5 spots. And so you're usually not too picky. And I know I play right guard, but if they would have needed me to play left guard, I would have been in that left guard making it happen.
Right.
If they needed me to play center, I probably would have still been on the bench, and we'll get too crazy there. Because Ryan Kelly was a dog, right? Now, if you go back and watch that tape and just how explosive and quick he was, that allowed myself to just be a big bruiser next to him because he anchored that offensive line.
Yeah.
He'd get up, he'd make those calls, he'd make sure everybody was good. And I feel like that allowed me to play as well as I did, and it allowed our unit to play as well as we did. Um, and so center spot's huge. I don't think you can really swing back and forth on the center spot, but those guard spots, man, if you can play one, you can play both. Same goes for tackle.
Right. Just doing things kind of the opposite.
And yeah, it's just flipping the play in your head, man. If you're running inside zone to the right and you're used to playing right guard, and they put you at left guard, well, it's still inside zone to the right. Now you just got backside rules, right?
Right.
Or if they flip it and you run inside zone to the left, well, you're just running it to the left. You do what you would have did at right guard if you were running it to the right. You know what I mean? Crazy enough, I've heard that people have issues doing stuff like that, like just simply flipping plays in their head. Yeah, but it's it's fun. A long play is fun, man. You get
Who
into it.
who who mentored you? Did you have any players that kind of helped you when you were going through it? And how could guys that have been there help these guys?
Oh man, I think for me, I leaned heavy on crystal ball during my time with him. I leaned on him heavy. And when I didn't have crystal ball, man, I used to lean on William Vlahos. I wonder if you remember that name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I've
my
heard
boy
nothing but great
Vlahos.
things about him. Yeah.
Yes, man, absolutely, Jim, absolutely, Jim. Super knowledgeable, knows the game inside and out. I feel like Vlahos is like a football savant almost. Just because to me, man, he knew everything offensive line play wise. And he showed me how to break down film. He showed me what to look for, what I'm watching for, showed me how to grade myself. And so if I had to pick anybody, definitely Vallejo's and Cristobal. I leaned on those guys heavy when I could.
Yeah. Isn't Vallejo's coaching now?
Yeah, I think he is coaching somewhere now. I'm not exactly sure where. Yeah, but whoever he's coaching, man, I hope they know they got a good one for sure. Because
Yeah.
Blales was a dog, undersized center in the SEC, but you couldn't mess with him, man. He's like super glue. Once he got on you, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't coming off, man. He was super smart. And so I appreciate guys like Blales.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, so this offensive line obviously is going to block. You want them to run the football, and when you look at the running back situation, I've watched both press conferences with Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, and they both said that Jam Miller's kind of the guy right now, and everybody's just, following him behind him. Richard Young, Dre Washington transfer, Daniel Hill, AK Deer. There's a lot of guys that can do stuff there. But the thing you love about Jam Miller is that not only can he run the ball, but he can catch. He's got great hands.
Absolutely. I think he's a do it all back, man. He's a balanced running back. He's a 1 through 3 down guy. And the biggest thing for him, man, he just needs the ball. As a running back, you obviously don't want to see my boy lead blocking the whole damn game. Like, let's get him
Yeah,
the
right.
ball here. He just if you want a running back that's gonna lead block, just put a damn fullback in the game and call it what it is. But
Yeah.
let's not have these Ferraris and turn them into grocery getter. It's just like like let them go fast, man. Get them the ball and let them go fast. He got them big ass Clydesdales up front, man, blocking for him, moving stuff out the way. Those workhorses, let him get in behind him, man, and go to work. And I don't think he had. It is not even a thing. I know for a fact he didn't get nearly as enough opportunities last year as he should have.
Right.
And so hopefully going into this year, we see more of that run game and we see more consistent opportunities, not just spot runs here and there, because you have no idea what you want to call. It's just a play to lay down to get to the next play, because that's what it felt like we were looking at from time to time last year. And so hopefully we get some effective rushing opportunities going into the season this year.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that too. I know they're going to want to throw the ball a lot, but you still got to run the ball to keep the quarterback from just getting smashed in the pocket.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know how good SEC defenses can be.
Yeah.
And so if you turn into a one-dimensional team, you're doing the work for them. You're making it easy on defenses. You turn into a one-dimensional team. And so we got to be able to do multiple things on offense, man. We can't have tunnel vision. We can't just not be good at anything. Like I said before, we need to have an identity this year. Because
Right.
last year, when everything hit the fan, there was nothing we could fall back on, and we just absolutely felt like we're damn good at this. It doesn't matter what anybody says. If we run into a funk, we can pull this out and run this and get back on track. We didn't have that at all last year. Man, I feel like that in big part because running the football has been our identity for so long. And so to go away from that last year, man, it was tough to see. So hopefully we get back to that this year.
Yeah, I love that idea. Hey guys, I'm back in the studios. You can see, and I've got all my Daniel Moores over here, and you guys can get yours as well, 20% off when you use the promo code Bama Tailgate. All you got to do is put it there in the end. Bama Tailgate. Where'd you hear about it? Click Bama Tailgate, and then at the end, type in Bama Tailgate at the promo code, and you'll get 20% off. So I'm looking at them right now. I love them. Shank's got his coming. Order has been placed, and you guys take advantage of that. Let's talk about leadership. I know Parker Brailsford's kind of taking over leadership on the offensive line. Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, is a leader. Ryan Grubb talked about, him being someone that they count on a lot. It felt like, look, with the NIL era here, right? And who knows how it's going to change, because they are doing their best right now to end a lot of the pay-per-play stuff, right? So eventually it's going to be over. But the way that it is right now, with the money being part of it, how hard would it be to go in the locker room for a player and be a leader? And then think about some of the leaders that were on your teams, and then like Bernard, hey, this is what we're going to do. You played with Jonathan Allen, who is still one of my all-time favorite Alabama players. I'm guessing that he was probably people listen to what he had to say.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know,
Man, and I feel like that's one of the biggest things, man, is that our leaders back then were a little different because they'll whoop your ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
yeah,
continue to mess up and go against the team, and then it starts to bleed into the team and affect what everybody else has going on, like they'd be willing to fight about that. And so I think that's the big part with our leaders back then is that they could do it physically and they had it mentally as well. And so it wasn't just, talk the talk, they could also walk it. And so in this day and age, man, I think respect is bigger than anything these days. And so the way you demand respect is just outworking everybody and showing up. And because
right.
nobody wants to be led by somebody that just wants to talk about it, right? And nobody wants to be led by somebody that's not boots on the ground in the trenches getting it themselves. Because it's so easy to talk when everybody's watching. It's so easy to do it when everybody's watching. But what's your character when nobody's watching? You know what I'm saying? Like, what
Right.
do you do? Like, what are your habits? What are you doing when nobody's around you? And your teammates know. Your teammates know. And so if you one of those guys who just aren't taking this shit serious and aren't trying, and you're not trying to better the program, your teammates know, man, and they and they won't fall for guys like that. They won't get behind guys like that. So I think NIL or not, at the end of the day, respect is respect amongst men, and you earn respect, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what level of football. If a man feels you're a clown and you're just putting on and you're not really about the stuff you're talking about, then he's gonna brush you off and pay you no mind. It's
Right.
no different than us in the workforce, right? If me and you do this show and I'm chronically late or you're having a hard time getting in touch with me, well, you you know what I'm saying? You lose respect for me, right? You wouldn't want to
Yeah.
do this show with me. And so football is no different.
Yeah.
The guys that show up, the guys that put in the work, those are the guys fall in behind. Those are the guys that become leaders. I got a question for you though, Mick. Do you think somebody is born a leader or they're turned into a leader?
See, I think they're born a leader. I don't know
Mm,
why, but I've been a leader my whole life. Even when I
yeah.
was a kid, I can remember being the guy on the bus that was like, whether we were playing baseball or football, organizing the teams, making sure that we had the ball where we were going to play, and all that stuff. I just think that a lot of that you can try to be that way, like I'm sure that people that aren't born that way can figure it out, but I think that a lot of it's natural. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's natural as well. I think it's natural as well, but at the same time, it takes some nurturing and some developing as well.
Right.
Because like anything else, man, experiences matter. Man. And so if you want to be a person that leads, man, you got to stack experiences that give you that type of wisdom and that type of, aura about yourself that can do that. Um, I never considered myself a leader. You know, I was always more so just a grounded out kind of guy. And, just get it by any means, make it happen by any means, and see it through.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't consider myself a leader because I didn't always do things right. I wasn't always the most in shape. It
Yeah.
wasn't from lack of trying. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was showing up every day, 5 a.m., putting in extra cardio on top of the work that we had to do every morning,
Right.
putting in extra weights. Leading is it just wasn't something that was for me naturally because
Right.
naturally I just stick to myself, And naturally I'm just kind of off to the side, just kind of observing, doing my own thing, and I get in where I fit in. And so I definitely think most people are born leaders, and then their experiences dictate what type of leader they become.
Right. Yeah. When was the moment that you figured out that you could be a leader?
The moment I became a starter,
Right.
the moment I became a starter, it just because it gave me that. For me, it gave me that confidence and it gave me that resume I needed behind me because you always hear so many critics without credentials, right?
Yeah.
Man, and so I always had a hard time um just trying to lead anybody else when I don't have it figured out myself. And so from that standpoint, I just focus on me, man, and just fighting for that starting spot and getting in where I fit in. And once I was there, it was a little different because from there, it felt like a sense of responsibility, you know? It felt like I had a little spotlight on me because I was up front now. Man, so I had to move and do things a certain way. And so definitely when I got that start nod, that's when it kind of kicked in for me.
Yeah. So the success that you had put you in a spot where you needed to kind of, okay, you know what? I'm going to have to be a leader.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because at that point, it was no more standing in the back, you know, playing second fiddle. It was just like, all right, now it's their time. You know, you watch so many people come through and do their thing and do their part to better this team. Now it's your time to step up. And so that's the way I took it, man. And it's just, like I said, I have a hard time getting on somebody and I don't have it figured out myself. That's
Yeah.
that's just not the type of person I am, you know, because I feel like man, it takes a certain type of responsibility when you're a leader, man. When you're trying to push guys to be something different than what they're used to. And I was in my own battles, and so like I said, I had a hard time just getting on guys and just holding them to a standard because it took everything I had to hold myself to that standard, you know?
Right. Sometimes, and this is kind of like as we wrap things up, but sometimes you become better at what you're doing by being a leader.
Yeah.
I can think about playing on teams, baseball teams, and being the worst player and being the best player. And I don't know that everybody has that experience, being by far the worst player. I was on they promoted me to Babe Ruth League a year. Really, it was almost 2 years before I was supposed to be there. So I'm by far the youngest guy. And I got my ass kicked. And it sucked. And all my friends were playing on the smaller field, hitting home runs, doing this. I'm getting thrown out on balls. I hit the right field because the bases are long and I was fat. Happened to me 3 times in 1 year. The third time I started crying, like I just couldn't take it anymore. I was batting like 066, and then when I left, like being like the best player and people being like, how are you doing this? And I'm like, hey, it's this and this and this. And the more that I talked about like hitting and fielding and stuff, the better I got at it. It was almost like, I don't know if it's confidence or if it's just like your mental process of saying, hey, what I'm trying to do is this, right? It's got to be similar in football too, like where you're looking at positioning and you're looking at, reading snaps and defenses and knowing what plays come in and how to handle situations.
No, it definitely is, man, because that's why you watch film. That's what we study film. And because if you really think about it, man, there's nothing you see on the field that you see for the first time if you really doing the homework you're supposed to be doing, right? Man, so all the stunts, blitzes, everything, everybody throws at you. You get good at picking them up. One, because you see them over and over, and two, because you're repping it over and over, right? And you kind of have like this debriefing mode with your teammates where you're asking them what they see, they're asking what you see, and y'all kind of meet in the middle, and it helps everybody out. So no, I definitely get what you're saying.
Well, this is fun because you're talking about football, you're talking about Bama, and hopefully better leadership coming. And what I'm thinking is that for Alabama, it's going to take those leaders holding the team accountable. Caleb Moore doesn't have a hold it accountable personality. He just doesn't. That's why he needs Ryan Grubb. It's just, I mean, that's just not him. I think he's more of a guy that wants the players to do that. It's almost and look, that's an NFL kind of mentality too. You show up, you're supposed to be the pro, you're supposed to be doing this, and this. We expect you to do that. Coach Saban will follow your ass to class and make sure you're there. It takes a different type of guy to have that type of freedom.
Not following you to class shit funny because academic staff really didn't play that shit, dog. He just like, if I ever missed a class, Molly, shout out Molly, who's still working at Bama over academics now. She's like assistant AD, man. Like Molly was my advisor when I was there. Now she's big time. So shout out you, Molly. If I missed a class, Molly was ringing me. If I ain't answer that phone, Molly was gonna be at my dorm door, like, hey, get out that bed. And we had a point system and everything. Yeah, man, it used to get serious behind those classes.
That's so funny. Well, look, I've had a great time as always. You guys get in the comments section. Tell me what you think with the questions that you want. We're brought to you by Pearl River Resort. We got football coming dead ahead, Florida State. Jake and I are trying to figure out if we're going to Tallahassee to do the tailgate show. So that's something to keep an eye on. But the game plan is now that we are. So we'll be there on that Friday to record the tailgate show. And we're working with Innisfree right now to do the tailgate show there again this season. And Shank's got high school football, or he'd be there with us. But maybe one of those weeks we can get you there, like an off week or something.
Yeah, I'm going to sneak up there soon, man. We got to make it happen.
That'd be so awesome. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you to Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. And we'll be back next week. We're going to try for the next 2 weeks after today. We're going to try to give you 3 shows a week because it's football. We got to get you ready for the opening kickoff. We got to get you ready for Florida State. So awesome seeing you, Shank, and Roll Tide, everybody.
To Pearl River Resort.